GameStop stock analysis for
I say
2024.
personally, yes, it can, and it could well be a $25 to $30 stock by next week. It could be, because the ingredients are all in place for a breakout, where we are possibly going to start to see $1 and $2 and $3 moves every day, both directions. We might have a $3 range where we don't even change in price. We might be up $2 after being up $3, come back $1. We might only be up $1 after being up $3. We might be down $1 after being up $2. I can see this, and I can also see a pattern of just a higher stock, because, to repeat myself for the millionth time, that $10, $11, $12 stock that was there, that was holding the stock down there, it's all been bought up. It's all been acquired. We're approaching 200 million shares of buying power has gone through this stock in a week and a bit, and they've gobbled up and vacuumed away all the cheap stuff. And so there's nothing for sale here. And this is why I am now seeing, and you are now noticing on an hourly basis during the day, you're seeing 50-cent swings every hour, up and down and up and down. We see attacks of buying, we see attacks of selling, attacks of buying, and the volume just keeps going and going and going. And there is the tip-off of tip-offs. If it is actively trading, then the stock is destined to go higher. If the stock stops trading in an active way, it can slip back. That's where what I have seen now the last week and a half on this stock. And this reminds me of 2020 and 2021. This kind of volume and more, and I think we're going to get more volume. I don't think 20 million, 25 million is where we end up at. Pardon me. If we're going to see 25 a share to 30 a share, we're going to see 40 to 60 million shares a day trade. That's what I think is going to happen. If it's happening, that's how it's going to happen. And if it's going to go to $35 to $40 a share as the squeeze continues, might see 60 to 100 million a day. And if it goes to $50 to $60 a share, which is $200 to $240, old school thinking, 4 to 1 split, that's all I'm taking into account, then 150 million volume will go through. So the more expensive the stock gets, the more dollars will come into the play of the stock. Because remember, excuse me, there are potentially 5 million people willing to buy and sell GameStop on a day trade basis. And these 5 million people will be willing to average 1,000 shares each on their trades, 500 shares each. We're talking 50 million to 150 million volume every day. This is not billionaires trading stock back and forth in million share blocks. This is millions of people trading hundreds of shares at a time in blocks. And because of this incredible invention that was dropped on us in 2004 when Steve Jobs showed us this thing, and because of the power of the chips inside these, but more importantly, the 5G, 4G, 5G networks out there that now allow data transmission into ungodly powerful trading systems, computer systems. This allows anyone who's sitting on a toilet to trade this stock on one of these and options on one of these instantaneously anywhere on the surface of this planet. This is just unthinkable 20 years ago, completely unimaginable 40 years ago. When I was a broker, never would I have ever imagined that we could be doing this kind of trading. And you don't even need a stockbroker or a desk trader or a floor trader or a runner. You don't need a branch manager. You don't need compliance officers. You don't need all these levels of bureaucracy that were in the play and the systems that were in place to handle trading 40 years ago. Not necessary. It's microsecond transactions, It's absolutely incredible. And well, kids, here's the good news. We're taking old people like me and you. If you're 40 and older, you're old now. And we're able to trade in this new world just like an 18-year-old kid can trade. There's one difference, though. 18-year-old kids don't have the asset values that older people do, like us. And so we can trade $5,000 worth of stock, $10,000 worth of stock, options, cash secured puts, what have you. 18 and 20-year-olds, they have faster fingers. They can react quicker, like a bird, like a squirrel. They don't have the money. They don't have the dough. Collective, one here, one there. Oh yeah, but not every one of them. And there's the difference. So the old timers, us, get to play with the brand new toys, this, and play the markets in a whole new way. Now, who makes money and who loses money is predicated on who understands the psychology of the market. After the psychology of the market, who understands the logistics of the market, who understands how stocks and contracts work, options, and how to make your bets and make your money. So there you go. 1818 is where we're at right this second on GameStop. I can't tell you the opening trade. I can't tell you the high today. I can't tell you the low today, but I can indicate to you that it looks to me like the volume is going to be there yet again, because these higher prices of the stock are attracting more players into the stock. And so what I think you're going to begin to notice is you're going to notice an increase in the options activity for GameStop contracts, calls and puts. You'll start to notice spreads slowly but surely come in, volume go up. This is several weeks coming up here. And yeah, could well be 20 to 30 a share all next week, with us ending in the high 30s. Could, maybe, possibly. Maybe I'm wrong by 2 weeks. Maybe we stick around 18 to 25 for a while. Maybe 16 to 22. I don't know. I'll let you know when I know. You'll let me know when you know. But boy, 1810 in the pre-market, we couldn't break 745 for a week. We couldn't 17. We couldn't break 1745 all this week. We couldn't do it till yesterday. Then it just went right through it to 18 whatever. We just went right up to 1851. Left 1745 behind like a memory. And now we're trading at 1816, nowhere near 1745, which was the resistance level. All gone. All gone. So, kids, there you have it. That's the story on GameStop. I commend any of you and all of you who are sitting on deep in the money calls on GameStop. You have been toughing it out and taking the abuse and the Chinese water torture that you've been under for months and months and months. The stock just kind of went, You're finally getting a payoff, and you could get a phenomenal payoff from here. This thing goes to $28, $30. You're deep in the money calls. These 10s are $20 book value. 15s are $15 book value. 5s are $25 book value. So yes, now the trick, of course, everything else is if you're going to write calls, how are you going to roll? How are you going to do it? Which one should you do and when and why? Also, should you shift? Should you shift your game plan from owning stock to buying deep in the money call puts instead? Should you do that and then write on those for higher yield, more income? Take this cash grab. Should you shift from owning the stock to writing cash secured puts? Should you do that? Instead of playing the stock's volatility, why don't you play the volatility of cash secured puts where you're sitting on cash, you're getting cash, stock goes up, puts go down. Stock goes down, puts go up. You shift from one to another to another to another. Maybe that's the way to go. Credit spreads. Can you do a credit spread trade on GameStop for, say, 1 month or 2 months out, where you've got a $5 or a $10 spread between a put you write and a put you buy, way behind this market? I don't know. You have to check out the market. You might not because of lack of liquidity on contracts. Hopefully that will improve. Again, I'm thinking of all the variables. I do not believe that GameStop is going to go dead quiet next week and only trade 5 million shares a day. I don't think that's the plan. Too many millions, a couple billion of stock has gone through now. And I believe that there are outside parties who are well aware whom out there is short big time. And I think there's a war going on between huge players, and we're just watching the battlefield shift positions all the time. And we're little soldiers trying to get in on the action, get into this trench, get into that trench. There's momentum here, and we're trying to figure it out. But the stock's definitely been moving higher. Can't argue that. Unbelievable run. I'll be following this all day. And if any of you need help, if any of you need help with your positions, your option positions, it might be a good idea to set up a one-on-one with yours truly this weekend. You might want to do that. We'll go over all your positions on GameStop or whatever you're doing, and we'll try to help you realign, try to help you figure out what to do. So let me know. If you want to do a one-on-one, get a hold of me, and we'll see.